Hi everyone, welcome to Bikini Design Club. Today we will be sewing the 𝗨𝗏𝗏 bikini top. This is actually an update on our pattern. So you can see on our YouTube channel the previous video, and you can see that we have done a lot of updates on this pattern. We believe this will fit much better than the previous pattern we had. If you buy it now, you will get this one and not the other one, so don't worry. And this will have a different way of sewing, so please keep up until the end so you will see how we do it. So which changes did we make? Very well. So the top is lower, and you can see that if you compare with the other one, and we adjusted also some curves. Then we did a small dart here. This is going to make a huge difference on the fitting. Despite this is an elastic fabric, you will see that the dart will give this a special fit. And also we added the back strap. It's a bit longer than we had before, and it's now a separate part. This will enable you to have a much nicer top that will fit your body much better than the previous top we had. So let's start by cutting our fabrics for the exterior fabric and also for the lining, and then we can start sewing. Don't forget when cutting the fabric that we need to place the fabrics with right sides facing together, because we want to have two mirror pieces for the two breasts. So don't forget to mirror your pieces. So now I'm going to cut the straps in white. You will have the strap sizes on the description on the PDF file that you received when you buy the pattern. I'm going to cut so the small piece for the front top, and then today instead of doing another piece here and then the other one there, I'm going to do a channel under the bust, and I'm going to do the top straps. So we have our exterior fabric, our lining pieces, two top straps, and two back pieces of the pattern also. Then I've cut it a very long strap to place under the bust. But what I'm actually going to do is, once I've done this, I'm going to cut a little bit to place here. And you have two options with this pattern. You can use our previous video on 𝗨𝗏𝗏 top, and you can cut a small strap to place here and then straps to go from here to the back, and you will not have a channel under the bust. In this version we will do a channel under the bust, so we will not need to cut a smaller strap here and two there. We will use only one. So I'm gonna use this to cut the smaller for here, and now we are gonna start assembling our pieces. So the straps you just fold in half, insert the elastic, and we are gonna prepare them, and we are gonna sew them. Then we are gonna sew the bigger one also, and then we will place our fabrics right sides facing together. In this case it's white, so it's not a big deal. And as you know, I always like to place my elastic on the side of my exterior fabric. So my exterior fabric is on top here, and I will go to my sewing machine and apply the elastic on top of this fabric. Always leave a little bit without the elastic in the beginning and a little bit without the elastic in the end also. This will make the piece less bulky on the places where you have to connect this area with the strap. And look closely, because on this video today I'm going to do a very detailed explanation on how to insert the straps without failing, without how to look perfect once they are on the correct side. So please keep up until the end so you will see how I do it. Before we sew these two, if you see, we have here and we have the back pieces here, right? So we will place them like this and pin them. And we will do this, the same for the lining, okay? And we are gonna sew this and this, so 4 times. Don't forget that the back seam has a certain leaning and curves, so you have to make sure that you are placing the pieces on the correct way with the top sides of the strap. So just place your pattern on top of your fabric and you will be sure that you are placing your pieces on the right way. So do that for all the 4 of them, and then let's start sewing. So all the 4 pieces are ready. Let's go over to the sewing machine and sew these 4 and also the straps. So in this case, let me tell you that I've done the lower strap with 1 meter and 10 centimeters, and these two have 70 centimeters. It's more or less in inches, let me see, 28 inches for this one, and this one 45 more or less inches. So we have our straps and we have our 4 pieces. Now let's prepare the darts. So fold the fabric with dart there, just fold the fabric, aligning the two right sides facing together, aligning the 2 sides. Pin if you want or not, I rather pin, and then just sew 1/2 centimeter from the edge. Do this in all 4 pieces. Now I'm just going to my straight stitch machine and sew the 4 darts. So to show you in detail what I do when I sew the darts is I start in the bottom area of the top, and then when I arrive to the vertex of my dart, I do not go reverse on my straight stitch machine. What I do, I put my needle up and cut the threads, leave them big and cut them. And now I gave 2 knots and I cut this, and this enables me to have a better finish on the right side of the top. So I do this for all my darts. Now that we have our pieces ready, let's reverse these straps using the loop turner, and let's finally, yes, now place right sides facing together of our top pieces. Align them, and we will pin to get them ready to go to our sewing machine. Just a quick note to let you know how I pin my pieces. I told before in my other videos that I'm not a professional, neither designing, neither sewing, but in these videos I always share the way that I do things. Of course, if you are a professional, you don't need to see my videos. If you are starting now, maybe this will help you. So when you have to pin a piece, you will not pin the piece holding it on your hand. You should lay it flat on a surface, and then I put my 2 fingers pressing the piece against the table. I go with my needle down and up, and this will ensure that this is not badly done, and once you go to your sewing machine, this will stay nice and perfect. Another detail that I wanted to share with you, of course this is optional and this is a detail, but I believe it helps me get a nice finish in the end, is when you have seams on your pieces, I always like to lean them towards the same sides, like this. Both of them are towards this side, to the back, but sometimes to make sure that they stay exactly aligned, I use my hand stitch and I do a small stitch here by hand to make sure that this stays exactly to the same side and in place. So that's what I'm gonna do now. As you can see, I hand stitched here and here. I did it in red so you could see perfectly. This is fine because once you are going to your overlock, this is going to disappear on both sides, so that's not a problem being in red. And like this, you can perfectly see the hand stitch that I gave there. And then another detail is for our darts, the smaller one, we can open the seam, and to make sure it lays flat like this on both sides, we can also hand stitch these, but it's as you prefer. In this case, I'm just going to pin when I'm doing this, but for now we are not going to sew over here, but it's just for you to keep in consideration that you should lay this flat, open half to each side. So now we are ready to sew. You have pins all the areas that we are sewing, so it's here and here. Let's do it.